Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradari Jaya Girivaradari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Narayanam Namaskritya Naran Shaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Udiraye Nashtaprayesu Abhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Maishtaki Mukam Karoti Vachalam Mangum Rangayate Mirim Yatripatamagam Vande Sri Gurum Kinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Sound is okay, Prabhu? Sound is full? Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 6th chapter, 19th verse. Naye achudam prinayato bhavyaso suratmajaga atmatvat sarva bhutanam siddhatvat iga sarvataga. Naye achudam prinayato bhavyaso suratmajaga atmatvat sarva bhutanam siddhatvat iga sarvataga. Word by word meaning. Na, not, indeed. Achyutam, the infallible supreme personality of Godhead. Prinayataga, satisfying. Bagu, much. Ayashaga, end over. Asura Atmajaga, O sons of demons. Atmatvat, because of being intimately related as the super soul. Sarva Bhutanam, of all living entities. Siddhatvat, because of being established. Iga, in this world. Sarvathaga, in all directions, in all times, and from angles of vision. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. My dear sons of demons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayana is the original Super Soul, the father of all living entities. Consequently, there are no impediments to pleasing Him or worshipping Him under any conditions, whether one be a child or an old man. The relationship between the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always a fact, and therefore there is no difficulty in pleasing the Lord. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. One may ask, one is certainly very attached to the family life, but if one gives up family life to be attached to the service of the Lord, one must undergo the same endeavor and trouble. Therefore, what is the benefit of taking the trouble to engage in the service of the Lord? This is not a valid objection. The Lord asserts in Bhagavad Gita 14.4, Sarvayoneshu kaunteya murtayaga sambhavantiyam tasam brahma magadyonir agam bija pradapita. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving father. The Supreme Lord Narayana is the seed-giving father of all the living entities, because the living entities are parts and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Mame evam sho jiva bhutaga. As there is no difficulty in establishing the intimate relationship between a father and son, there is no difficulty in re-establishing the natural intimate relationship between Narayana and the living entities. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate Magato Bayat. If one performs even very slight devotional service, Narayana is always ready to save one from the greatest danger. The definite example is Ajamila. Ajamila separated himself from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by performing many sinful activities and was condemned by Yamaraja to be very severely punished. But because at the time of death, he chanted the name of Narayana. Although he was calling not for the Supreme Lord Narayana, but his son named Narayana, he was saved from the hands of Yamaraja. Therefore, pleasing Narayana does not require as much endeavor as pleasing one's family, community, and nation. We have seen important political leaders killed for even a slight discrepancy in their behavior. Therefore, pleasing one's society, family, community, and nation is extremely difficult. Pleasing Narayana, however, is not at all difficult. It is very easy. One's duty is to revive one's relationship with Narayana. A slight endeavor in this direction will make the attempt successful, whereas one never will be successful in pleasing his so-called family, society, and nation, even if one endeavors to sacrifice his life. The simple endeavor involved in the devotional service of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, hearing and chanting the holy name of the Lord can make one successful in pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, Sri Chaitanya, Narayana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has therefore bestowed his blessings by saying, Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to Sri Krishna Sankirtana. If one wants to derive the actual benefit from this human form, he must take to the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Omagyanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Shakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaga Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadakishva Padantikam Vandegam Sri Guru Sri Yuta Patakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Sagitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagagana Laritan Sri Vishakan Vidamsha Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandho Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripre Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Vayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I pay my humble obeisances to my Siksha Diksha Guru, His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, and our Acharya Srila Prabhupada, and then my humble obeisances, pranams to all the deities, Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra Maya, Laddu Gopal, Narsimhadev, Panchatattva, Gauranitaya, and our Guru Parampara, and all the Vaishnavas assembled over here. My Dandavat pranams to our Yatra Sevak, His Grace Prajapanandas Prabhuji, for giving this wonderful opportunity to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, and all the Chakra Sevaks, Sector Sevaks, Cell Sevaks, and all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis assembled over here. Kindly bless me to do this service of reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So before starting, I wish to declare something as a stationary warning. I'm not eligible to do this service because of no purity, no understanding, no realization, no application, but still with all your mercy, with all your prayers, I will try my best with all your blessings, and for my own purification, I wish to do this service of reciting Srimad Bhagavatam. So the topics today in our discussion for the rest of the 45 minutes, just 3 topics we wish to analyze, and then we will try to find out the answers for this. The first one is the age prerequisite for preaching or practicing Krishna consciousness, and serving Maya or Krishna, which one is easy? And what is the benefit of doing devotional service unto Lord Sri Krishna? So these are the three basic questions. We will try to analyze and find out the reasons for this. So we are reading this chapter Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto. As you know, there are 10 subject matters have been described in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And each canto is glorifying, is describing about each subject matter, like Sarga, Visarga, and all these things. But this canto, 7th canto, what we are discussing, what we are talking, what we are reading, is talking about Poshanam, that is protection by the Lord. And protection by the Lord, not only for his devotees, even he protects the demons also. Like how the Prahlad is giving protection to his demonic schoolmates by giving the Krishna conscious preaching. So the protection is happening by the Lord to his devotees as well as everybody over there. So we are reading the chapter 6. Prahlada instructs his demonic schoolmates. The Prahlad Maharaj at the age of 5, he preaches this one. But the thing is, if you see the Srimad Bhagavatam, very finer messages and important messages Sukadeva Goswami has given in the Srimad Bhagavatam by using the child. You know, see this one in the few chapters before, we have read that the dead body of the king Suyajana has been he died, and then all these people are mourning around him, all these wives and then relatives, everybody is crying very badly, and then they are lamenting for this dead body. By seeing the pitiful condition, Yamaraja, he came as a small boy. He came as a small boy, and then he was instructing all the relatives surrounding the dead body, and then everyone was struck with the wonder by his philosophical words, and they could able to understand that everything in the material is temporary, not continuing to exist. So they left this dead body to go off. You know, they are not able to allowed to cremate also the dead body, so they're so attached to it. But he came as a small boy, and he could able to win their hearts and words. And just last canto also we read the Chitraketu's lamentation. Again, in this, Chitraketu was lamenting so much for his dead son. So Narada Muni mercifully, he brought the life. He gave this again birth to the real life to the Chitraketu's son. And but his son, and then he told him, okay, your father is so much lamenting. Kindly, please go back to him. But he said, very fine message he has given it, like, who are they? No one is actually my father and mother. How can I accept these two people as my parents? Why are you cutting off my journey? You know, who are these people? And then he is asked, a small boy is asked. So that's how the glory of Srimad Bhagavatam, you know, the finer messages has been given in the form of a child, in the form of a boy, like this, because it's so attractive. You know, like even our children, if you see, they are chanting some few words and then few verses. We are so incaptivated with this. That is how the message has been conveyed. And here also Prahlada starts giving this the supreme message. So Prahlada, what the word denotes, Lada denotes a Ladini Sakti, right? He is giving the happiness. Prahlada, he is giving the supreme most happiness to his friends. That is how. And then you can ask, like, why he has to give this knowledge immediately. So before that, how he got Prahlad Maharaj, he got this knowledge, you know, and at the age of 5, he started preaching. That means he might have got this knowledge before itself. Yes, he got association of a spiritual master, Narada Muni, when he was in the womb itself, right? And Kayadu also was listening. But Kayadu couldn't get Krishna consciousness fully, but Prahlada got the Krishna consciousness. How it has happened? Because he was immensely listening to Narada Muni, but although Kayadu was sitting, she is not listening because her consciousness thinking on her husband, what has happened, who has went for the tapasya and all these things. So this is how, because of the association, because of the mercy, he got Krishna consciousness. And as a Krishna consciousness person, as a devotee, he is so compassionate, merciful by seeing his demonic friends. So he started preaching. And another reason is he is just preparing his own friends, you know, because once they grow up, and then if they given a bhakti at the earlier age, it is going to guide them, because when they grow up, it is also going to guide them. So that is how Prahlad Maharaj started giving this Krishna bhakti to them at the early stage itself. And in the modern world also, if you see the recruitment in the company, how it is happening, you know, if you see the 70s and 80s, they were looking for the knowledge quotient, like how many degrees that person is having. If he's having more number of degrees, they used to take them immediately for the job. But in the 90s, if you see 90s and 90s, if you see, they were looking for IQ. Okay, doesn't matter about the knowledge, because he has to have some intelligence. He should have some skills to implement this knowledge. So this is how they started recruiting these people. But if you see the late in 2010s and the last in 2020s, what has happened is they saw many people are failing in delivering the duties, because they are not able to match their emotions or manage their emotions. They're not able to manage their own emotions. They're not able to manage the other people's emotions. So they started now looking for the emotional intelligence. It doesn't matter about this guy's having a knowledge or skill, whether he is able to manage the emotions. This is how the people. But I wish to say, Prabhujis and Matajis, if we don't give the spiritual quotient, if a person is not having a spiritual quotient, spiritual energy, spiritual knowledge, it doesn't matter whether you have KQ, IQ, or EQ, or whatever Q you are having, you will immensely fail. Our children will be immensely fail. They are not able to understand. They're not able to take up the culture. So it is most and more important. If you are any sitting here, all of your parents, then if anybody is calling you for the Krishna club or youth club, you have to give them a prioritize and send your children for to give them a Krishna consciousness. So that is how Prahlad Maharaj started this job from the beginning itself, to give them. Okay, so coming to the seventh canto, this is the glory of Bhagavatam. He's used the child, the early life. It has to start the Krishna consciousness message. It is fine. So as we're reading seventh canto now, last few weeks, all our Bhagavatam speakers have been glorifying the Prahlad Maharaj and how what are the instructions has been given so far. And last week, Her Grace Bhavdani Mataji was nicely explained about the difference in the education. What is the topmost education? Giving the spiritual education is much higher than all the material education. This is what very nicely Mata just explained. And before going to today's verse, the last verse, the previous verse is Prahlad Maharaj is giving a very heavy message actually. What he is saying, don't get that attractive to don't be a playful things in the hands of the attractive woman, because you will be entangled in this material life. And then once you get attached to the woman, you will be surrounded by the children, grandchildren, and great grandchildren, and you'll be shackled to the material bondage. So don't get attached to the bondage. And then you are saying, you are sons of demons, keep aloof from such persons and take the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, the origin of all the demigods, because the ultimate goal for the devotees of Narayana is liberation from the bondage of material existence. So this is a very heavy message Prahlad Maharaj has given to essence. Like, you have to detach from your family. Don't get attached to the women's, he said that. But immediately, one of the, it is a live program, no? So Prahlad Maharaj is giving a live program. So all the children are very active and they're very interactive. So one of the demonic friend, is Saka. He asked one question. So what to do, Prahlad? You said, okay, fine. Okay, we are ready. Okay, that we're not attached to the family life. But what we will do? We need to do some activity. What to do? This is the question raised by one of the watcher, one of the student of one of the friend of Prahlad Maharaj. And then now he started saying this verse. He is saying, he is addressing. So very nicely, Prahlad Maharaj is starting. He is saying, he is addressing them as friends as Asura Atma Jaga. What does this mean? Jaga means born. We say Padmaja, no? Is born from the lotus flower. So he is saying, you are Asura Atmaja. You are born from the demon, Asura, but you are Atma and Jaga. You are born from the Atma, demonic people, and Atma. See, the two things he is clarifying. But what is the essence of Bhagavad Gita? You are soul. You are not this body. So Prahlad Maharaj is giving the Bhagavad Gita in one single word. You are Atma, but the thing is, you are from Asura body. It doesn't matter. You are Atma. That is one point he clarified. And second thing is what you have to do as Atma, you have to do Prinayata. Who to Prinayata? He said, no need to satisfy, no need to please your family members, because you will be get entrapped. He is saying, Achudam Prinayata. See, so far, Prahlad Maharaj used Narayana word, but he is using Achyutam, Krishna. Why? Because he wants to give them a promise that if you do anything satisfying to Krishna, and he gives us a promise immediately, and then he will never go back from his promises. That is the word, the Achyuta. Achyuta means he never falls down, the infallible. Infallible, what? He never falls down from his promises. So that is why very cleverly, intelligently you used Achyutam. Okay. And then what you should do, you have to do some endeavors. And endeavors, whether it is much endeavor, definitely no, my dear children, my dear friends, he is saying, Nai Bagu Ayaso. If you compare with the endeavor, whatever you do for your family, to please your family and society and nation, it is very less for Achyutam to please Achyutam. Very simple. Yes, very clearly. And then, okay, and then the friends are asking, oh, where to find the Achyutam? Where to find a Krishna? We don't know, because we are Asura. You told we are Asura Atma, we are demons. Oh, where you can find out? Then immediately is saying, Atmatvat. Atmatvat. You no need to go and search anybody everywhere, my dear. He is there in your soul itself. He is there in your body itself. He is Atmatvat. He is with you, super soul. And then, okay, not only with you, is Sarva Bhutanam, of all the living entities, whether it is movable or immobile, any living entities, he is there. So you don't need to worry. He is there with you itself. Sarva Bhutanam, he is there in your Atmatvat, he is there. Right. And then, so this is very fact, Siddhatvad, this being established. My dear friends, I can tell you many Upanishad, I can tell you Brahma Samhita, I can tell you this code, I can tell you that code. But it is, you cannot understand that. I'm just saying simply that you are a soul and you have a super soul and you can please him, and it's not going to, you will be very much beneficial on this. That's all. So Siddhatvad, it's being established. And Sarvataga, and you can find Krishna anywhere, everywhere, and any part of the world. Whatever way you want to relate to him, whatever way you want to connect to him, you can do it. Sarvataga is there in everywhere, directions, all directions. You can see him in a Paramatma future. You can see in a Brahman realization. You can see as a Bhagavan. No problem, wherever you want. But you need to satisfy, please, Achyutam. So this is what the message is given. This is what we can understand from this translation and then this verse. It's a very straightforward and simple way he can he has done it, Prahlad Maharaj. Fine. Okay, next one. So now we'll try to understand Srila Prabhupada's purport. Srila Prabhupada's purport is always very systematic, logical, and philosophical. So we'll try to, so I've divided Srila Prabhupada's purport to understand in 4 different parts to make it simple, easy for us to understand. Fine. So we'll just go by part 1. So here Prabhupada started this purport in a very, heavy statement he has given it. One may ask, one is certainly very attached to family life, but if one gives up family life to be attached to the service of the Lord, one must undergo the same endeavor and trouble. I think this is the question. I don't know about all of you, but I have asked many times. After joining ISKCON, I have to do my duty, all my office work, and then I have to get up my 4:30 in the morning. I have to do my 16 rounds of chanting, and then I have to do Mangalarti, I have to do Guru Arti, and then I have to offer the prasadam, and then only when you eat. Then again I have to go to the office and job, and then evening I have to come back, and then again you have to do Gaura Arti and Tulsi Arti, and then I have to take cook prasadam and then offer it to Krishna, then only I can eat. What is this? Why I've been putting into the 2 different endeavors? I don't know. This is the question which keep on asking us. What is it? So again, Srila Prabhupada was asking the same thing. Now, what is this double endeavor? What is this trouble? The thing is, and then immediately Prabhupada says, it is like, what is the benefit of taking the trouble to engage in the service of the Lord? This is not a valid objection, he's saying. Fine. We know that, okay, what is the difference? So how we can, so in order to understand the benefits of doing service to Krishna, we should first understand by doing a service to the Maya. So I just put as Maya because what is not, if Krishna is not there, it is Maya. This is our simple understanding, right? So first we need to understand if we please the family and society, whether it is possible or not. It is, I think, if I unmute and ask all of you, you always say that you have a lot of examples that it is never be easy or pleasing to please the family, society, or nation, or even the employer, or even the employee, or even the everybody, right? Even if one endeavors to sacrifice his life. But to understand this, what is it? Why it is not so? Why it is so difficult to please this one? Because in this material world, all the relationship is based upon the self-interest. Until your self-interest is being satisfied, you will be pleased. For example, the employer. No, employer will have one self-interest, right? If the self-interest means it's profits and everything. If that is met, he will keep you be happy, very happily. If not, immediately you will be out of the company. You cannot say that I worked for you, I've given you my youth, I've given you my 15-year service, I have done this, that, nothing. Now it is not interested. Now I don't have any profit from you. I don't see anything. So I will just remove you. This is what goes in all relationships, whether it is husband or wife. If anything little bit compromise in the self-interest, kalas, you're not able to please it. So it is not possible for us to please everyone at every time. Only for some people at some time we can please it, right? And to understand little more about the self-interest, I just want to tell you what is happening now in this the war which is happening now. Why this war is happening between Russia and Ukraine? It is just because the self-interest of Mr. Putin, right? What is his interest? He wants to capture the Ukrainian. He wants to what is his name? Zelensky. He wants the Zelensky to be submitting to him. So that is not happening. So his self-interest has got damaged. His self-interest has got been hurt. So immediately you put the war against him, right? And even for this Ukrainian President Zelensky, he don't want to submit to the Putin. So this is how, and this is more detrimental. The self-interest is more detrimental, right? That is why it is very dangerous to please anybody in this. And we have seen many important, Prabhupada has written here, we have seen very important political leaders killed for even a slight discrepancy in their behavior. So this is another biggest problem we are having in this material life in this. If you do a slight discrepancy, for example, nowadays, what is happening now? For love at first sight, divorce at first fight. Right. So this little discrepancy. No, nobody can able to adjust and understand the discrepancy. Okay, if you don't like me, if you're not able to satisfy my ego, kalas, no need. Kalivali, you no need. That's a detrimental, right? So that is what we see. Mr. Gandhi, national leader, how much he has done for the nation, but he was killed because of he is not able to please everybody. That's it. And even if you see the Kennedy, he is not able to please everyone, so somebody has killed him. So the material relationships are detrimental, or it is going to be this one. So the pleasing one society, family, community, nation is extremely difficult. This is a point we need to understand. And then another thing Prabhupada has told is everyone in this material world is anatta. He's saying anatta means without any protection. We are thinking that my family, my wife, my children, my society, my nation will give me protection, but nobody can give you protection. It is a very false hope. Who can protect us? Only the Lord can protect you. But you can ask me, what is this, Prabhu? But we have a family, we need a duty, we have everything. So we need to do something on this. So what we can do? No problem. Please do it. Whatever has been assigned to you, you need to take care of your wife, you need to take care of your husband, you need to take care of your children's. But do it as a duty. Don't get attached to that. If you get attached to your people, then you will be continuing this duty, right? So what we can get attached to Krishna. So get your attachment to Krishna and do as a duty to in your job or in your relationships and everything. Then you will be very happy. You can continue in this material world. That will be the ideal situation in this. This is what Prabhupada is trying to say that. And then we think that we are the master, but we are not the master. We are always a servant, right? Even the company of CEO or whatever it may be, but still he is a servant. So what we should think of it is, my Lord, this should be our meditation. My Lord, I am a servant, but I could not please anyone. Neither anyone is pleased upon me. This is a very fact, right? Our experiences says that we are not able to please anyone. Neither anyone is pleased upon me. Why? Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has very nicely explained, because when a conditioned soul, if he keep on continuing his focus and serving the Kama Dinam, if he serve all his senses, then definitely he is going in a miserable position. But if he shift it, very nicely as read, Kama Dinam Katina Katida Palita Durnideshas is saying, oh my Lord, there is no limit to the unwanted orders of my lusty desires. It's keep on giving orders. All the senses are giving me orders, do this, do that, do that. But I've rendered this desire so much service, but still they have not shown my mercy to me. And I've also not been ashamed to serve them, and nor even I've decided to give them up. This is our position of conditioned soul, right? But if we make a shift, simply change the position. Just take 90 degrees, take ulta, and then turn, instead of turning toward the senses, turn towards Krishna. Then automatically you become the servant of the senses and agree to become a servant of Krishna. That's all. Your job is done. If I am trained up to become a faithful servant, just become a faithful servant to Krishna. Your business is complete. Our business of coming into this material world as a human being is complete. So what is the difficulty? He is asking us, his sakas. Nahi achudam prinayato bagu ayasha. Not much endeavor is required. There is no question of learning, much endeavor. We are already accustomed to give the service. As a constitutional position as a servant, we do it. But we are doing service to the sense organs. Just shift it to Krishna. Engage the same senses in serving the Krishna. That's it. And what is the returns you will give is, by turning this, the Lord will be very much pleased, and he will never insult us, never betray us, and he will never disappoint us. All these things you will get it when you serve the Maya, when you serve the material world, when you serve the other people, right? What more we want reasons to serve Lord Krishna, correct? Okay. And then, so now the sakas are asking where we can find Krishna, how we can because we are asuras, we are demons, what we can do. Then Prabhupada, the second part of Prabhupada's purport is very nicely explained. He's saying, no, Agam Bija Pradapita, he is there in you also, my dear. He is there, he is the seed-giving father for you. He is there as a Atmatvad, he is there in your as a super soul. And in Bhagavad Gita, we have understood many times, we have read this, right? We are part and parcel of the Lord, and then we are the seed-giving father is Krishna, and everything is it. So there is no difficulty, my dear friends, he is saying, because like you have a relationship with your father, and he is also father, but he is a supreme father, and he is the father of everyone. Right? And there's intimate relationship between you and Narayana and the living entities, correct? But I don't know, somehow, Bhagavad Gita, I feel like it's a theory. Sometimes it doesn't go inside, but if it does not goes inside, then immediately we need to refer to Bhagavatam. Here Bhagavad Gita, it says that, okay, I am the seed giving father. I am the source of everyone. Everything it says in Bhagavad Gita. But to understand it a little bit more detail and to get engrossed in our heart more heavily, then we need to start understanding Bhagavatam. Right? In Bhagavatam, very nicely explained, Swayam Bhagavan, Krishna is the source of all the incarnations. And he has nicely explained, I am expanding myself in a Purusha avatar. I came as Karana Dakshai Vishnu. And then from me, the Garbhodaksai Vishnu is coming. And then I'm giving the all the ingredients as a Magat Tattva, as a ball, as a package, I'm giving it to Garbhodaksha Vishnu, so that with that package, he is able to do the Visarga, is able to do the secondary creation of Brahma. So yeah, what does it mean? It is a source of everything, is a source from the Krishna only. So if we understand from the Bhagavatam, then we will accept the theory part also, because it's very practical, it is explained over there. So what is the difference in this? Right. Okay. So now we have understood. Now all this people have understood that I am the part and parcel of the soul. What has happened? Now the blessing started. Now the Krishna's blessing started flowing. If you show little bit inclination towards Krishna, then automatically he will put us into the Bhakti Yoga later. So this is how we have been joined with ISKCON. How we have joined with ISKCON? Little bit inclination towards Krishna. We have heard that, okay, there is something, we're talking about Krishna, there's somebody is giving some Krishna Prasadam. So we started going on it. But automatically what has started is, we have been introduced, we have been given into the service of Bhakti Yoga, and then we have been put into the process of Uttama Bhakti. Straight away, not the Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, we have been straight away put into the Uttama Bhakti. Doing Bhakti to Krishna, Vishnu is Uttama Bhakti. And we have been put in the practice. And then we have been given, all it has started because when you show little bit inclination towards Krishna, everything is happening now. So this all, and we have been understood that this is the stages of Bhakti Yoga, right? So with the small little bit inclination, little bit faith, we started our devotional life as with the Shraddha, right? Immediately what has happened? We got the Sadhu Sangha. We got immediately associated with the devotees, with the like-minded people, and who started feeding us lots of information, lots of energy, lots of prasadam. So that automatically our Krishna consciousness started, bhakti started flourishing on it. And immediately what we have done, we started doing bhajana kriya, right? And if the bhajana kriya is very so pure, then automatically the anartha nivritti happens, or the anarthas will go off, right? And then all the stages will keep on coming. Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema, and everything happens. But Prabhujis and Matajis, I want to say one simple thing. We all, when we join ISKCON, we all take a goal, to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. So this is the goal. And everybody who are started joining ISKCON, if they don't tell also, we tell them, we ask them to tell, your goal is to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. But we need to go on this process. We need to check periodically ourselves what the stage we are. It is responsibility of each and everyone to check for each other's, what is my stage? Because we have kept our goal to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. But what is the stage? Until we don't attain the spiritual body, Siddha Dega, we cannot go back. So we need to monitor our stage and we need to go. And according to my understanding, the Anartha Nivritti is the major time taking stage it is, right? And if we literally follow of not doing any anarthas, then automatically they say the rest of the 4 stages are just like it can happen like a fraction of second. You can attend bhava, but we are stuck in this anartha nivritti. So how to come out of this anartha nivritti? We need to work it on this, right? Fine. Okay, and then if you ask me, what is happening, Prabhu? Okay, you told me, okay, there is a difficulty in serving the society, family, nobody is pleased, right? But if you start doing a sadhana bhakti, if you start doing engaging ourselves in the sadhana bhakti, what is happening to us? What is happening is, this is what is happening. When we do a sadhana bhakti, see, there are 6 characteristics are happening when you started doing the Uttama Bhakti. But I will just tell you, since all of us, I believe 99% of all of us, we are in the sadhana bhakti. We are practicing sadhana bhakti. So just 2 things, what is happening, Kleshagini and Subhada. What is happening to us? So these are all little, when we started doing little inclination towards Krishna, this is what is happening. I just want to give you a small brief on Kleshagini. What is this Kleshagini? Agni means fire. Klesha means suffering, right? So when we started the process of bhakti, your sufferings all gone. Your sufferings all started ignited, But for example, see, the law of karma is a very big chapter. It is, we're not able to understand what is the law of karma. What is the karma we are doing? What is the reciprocation we are getting? We don't know. But all of us, we know that we are having a lot of sins. So right now, if we are suffering with any chronic disease, if you are born in the low class family, we have many problems. Everything is based upon the karma, the sins what you have done. Okay, so if you experience in this lifetime, they call it as prarabdha karma, and then if you experience the future lives, it called as aprarabdha karma. But the thing is, for all the karmas, all the sins, the source is avidya, the ignorance. Because of the ignorance only, we have been doing all the senses. But when you start the bhakti, you have been given vidya, knowledge by the scriptures, knowledge by the spiritual master, knowledge by association by the Vaishnavas. So automatically the ignorance goes off. I'll tell you simply how it has happened. See, once when you joined ISKCON and when you start progressing your bhakti, we have been introduced about the 4 regulative principles, right? So no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. For example, simple, how we are avoiding the sins, how we are able to prevent the sins just by following the 4 regulative principles. For example, our Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj is having 50,000 disciples. If you take, I believe at least 50% of these people will be the non-vegetarians, right? They be eating the sins, right? So they have been stopped doing the sins. So this is how the bhakti does for you. What more do you want? And then in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is very nicely explained. The bhakti, what we are doing, it acts like an extinguisher, right? For those who engage in bhakti to Vishnu, step by step, aprarabdha, kuta, bija, and prarabdha karmas are destroyed. So you will be come out of the sins. What more you want? This is the kleshagini. You will be come out of the sufferings. First thing, you will get the vidya knowledge that you will come out of the sins, and then whatever the sins you have done also is getting diminished or getting exhausted. So this is the best of doing a bhakti to Krishna. Correct. And then this is talking about what you have not done. And then immediately our devotees, our sevaks, what they do, immediately they put you in the performing the bhakti. And immediately they give you the 64 angas of bhakti. Actually, we don't name it as 64 angas when we started doing it, but when you start reading the scriptures, you will understand, oh, this is what, oh, this is also anga. Oh, we have been asked to do the Mangalarti, that is also anga. We have been started asking to do the smelling, no, that is also anga of bhakti. We will realize when we start reading the scriptures, but we have been put in the process already by our devotee association with the bhakta. So what is happening because of that? Subhadha, the bestowal of auspiciousness. Everything is auspicious, but everything in Maya, serving Maya, is not in his inauspiciousness, right? I'll just quickly go on this 3-4 slides. Just by appearing Tilaka, wearing the syllables of the name Tilaka, what is happening? You know, the servants of Yama will not touch you. What more we want here? And who are the names of Gopichand and Tilak and who have Tulsi beads on the church, the servants of Yamaduda will not touch you. This is the auspiciousness which we been by just by starting doing the bhakti. And then at the Narshima Arti we do, and then we smell it. You know, what is that? What is the benefit out of it? And we have been asked to eat the prasadam. What is the benefit out of it? We will be your servants will indeed conquer your illusionary energy. Maya is a very powerful energy, we know, because it's Krishna's energy. But by wearing the garlands of you, and then Uchita, by eating your prasadam, we will win over your energy, my dear, my lord. So this is the second benefit. This what is happening with the devotion bhakti, and then we have been given the deity service, right? We have been given the touching the Vishnu. So he says in Padma Purana, I think, you know, he says the pure and faithful person who touches the deity of Vishnu becomes freed from the bondage of sin and attains all desires. So this is what is happening for us. Bestowal of auspiciousness. And we have been asked to do the Arati. By just seeing the Aratika of the Lord, the face of Vishnu lit by the light from the Aratika lamp, it burns up 10 million sins of killing Brahmanas and 10 million sins committed in the past and committed in the future. This is the auspiciousness. You know, can we see any benefit of doing the service to the Maya? No. So this is what happening when we start doing the bhakti, right? And then here, as I told you, like Achyutam, you know, and so far he was calling Narayana, but in this verse he's saying Achyutam. Why Achyutam? Because Achyutam is one, the Krishna who will not give out, will not come out of his promise. Whatever the promises he has given, he will make sure that it has been done. Right. And then here it says, not only his promise, if he makes his devotees to promise, like he is saying now, Kaunteya Pratijana Name Bhakta Pranashati. Hey, my dear Arjuna, son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. This is the promise he has given Achyutam. So he is Prahlad Maharaj is instructing his friends, just do a pleasing service to Krishna. Just please Achyutam. You know, you will be escaping from that. What you will escape? Okay, this is I'll skip this. Like this is the he is saying, Krishna saying in Bhagavad Gita that I will take you back in a different ways. You know, in 6 times in Bhagavad Gita, he has given the same promise in different terminology, different words. So what is it? You will attain me. You know, you just dedicate your words, minds, and intelligence to me, and do a service to me. You will come back to me. This is the topmost promise which Achyutam has given. What more we want in this, right? Coming to the third part, the benefit. The topmost benefit of doing bhakti to Krishna, right? He is saying we'll be saved from that topmost fear. What is the topmost fear which you're having? Death, right? And death going to the Yamaraj, and by saying the Yamaraj. I just want to narrate shortly the Ajamila story, because from the beginning this Ajamila story always bewilders me. Because many times we have heard that by just glorifying the holy name, we say that see Ajamila, he chanted Narayana in the last minute and then Vishnu Dutas came and took him. But many times we will think that okay, what wrong in okay, he has done all the sins and then finally we say Narayana, we can go back. Immediately our conditioned soul, we think of like this, right? But if we understand the Ajamila story fully, then we can understand the mercy of the Lord, how he escapes, how he takes it. To make it simple, the Ajamila in the beginning life, he was a reservoir of good character, good conduct. He was very gentle, he was always truthful, and he was well versed in the Vedic scriptures, and he is very pious Brahmana. and he was doing a lot of devotional services. This was happening for the first 14 years. So this is the light little devotional services he has done to Krishna. But rest of the year, maybe another 80 years of his life, he spent in doing sins, right? Doing going behind the prostitute and all these things. He was doing it. He was not taking care of the parents. A lot of sins he has done. He was drinking and all these things. He was intoxicated and everything. And if you list the sins what he has done, he has to go to the different yells of the Yamaraja. But what has happened is, I heard from one of the acharyas, right? When he was having 10 sons, okay, the 10th son, the last son, when she was pregnant, that time there were some brahmanas going on the street, and then like Bichan Devi, they go Narayana, Narayana chanting, and then Bichan Devi they were going, and then they gone to the street of where Ajamila was staying also, and somehow Krishna's arrangement, the wife who was pregnant, the 10th child is having inside, and then she came and gave the brahmanas dakshina, the food she has given, right? And then they have accepted also, and then they told, when you get a son, this 10th son, you name them as Narayana. This is the blessing they've given him. And then they will keep on chanting Narayana, Narayana, and she was listening. So the Narayana has gone inside to her, right? And then somehow faithfully, she has kept the name Narayana. And then this fellow started, somehow he likes the 10th son very much than the 9th sons. And he started chanting Narayana from the beginning of that small boy. He was keep on saying Narayana, Narayana for everything if he want, because he has become 98 years old. He just got a bedridden and he was just lying over there. And then for each and everything, he will call his son Narayana only. So the purification, little bit purification started from the time itself. And then the death point has come. Right, death point has come, and then he started seeing, luckily, the Yamadutas, right? Because of the sins what he has done, only the Yamadutas will come. Who will come? But by seeing the fearful face of Yamadutas, he started taking help of his son. He said, Narayana, Narayana, he called. Then by hearing the Narayana's name, the despair, and then Vishnu Dutas also came. So here the mercy of Lord Krishna, we can say. Right, and then Vishnu Dutas came, and then this big discussions happened between Vishnu Dutas and Yamadutas. This fellow sleeping on the dead bed, and he was just watching. He got a Shravanam. He got association of the Vishnu Dutas, right? And just by Shravanam listening, what has happened is he got remembered about all his old life as a pious life has been remembered. See, he is so fortunate he got association of Vishnu Dutas. And actually, to be frankly speaking, we are having more fortune than Ajamila. How many times our sevaks, our cell sevak, sector sevak, chakra sevak, or yatra sevak has been reminding us with this, about this, giving this knowledge, right? We are getting so much of sikshas. He just got in the deathbed, but he is escaped. Yeah, and then what has happened? We also getting the same sikshas, but we need to utilize it in the proper way, right? And then what has happened here is that's magic, that story. That's again the mercy of Lord Krishna. But the Paramatma was sitting inside this one in Ajamila. Immediately he make a plan. He make a plan to get out of his wife, get out of us everything, and then immediately he moved to the Haridwar, city of Haridwar, and then in the Ganges of river, and he started meditating. He started executing the bhakti yoga. So this is what I want to try to say it. You need to step all the stages of bhakti yoga, we need to execute. Then only we can escape from this material world. We can go back to Goloka Vrindavan, not just having only the goal. We need to get that bhava. The last stage, we need to get it. So Ajamila started performing this bhakti yoga in a full-fledged, with the full understanding, with the full remembrance now. He has put his body, he's put it words, mind, intelligence, everything is focused on it. And then he got out of this material body, he got the Siddha Dega, right? And then the 4 Vishnu Dutas came again, the second time when he came only, they took him back to Ajamila. So this is, and Prabhupada has very nicely brought out this point in this purport, to make sure that the Lord is so merciful. He gives us many chances, right? We need to take up the first chance. The first chance itself, if we take it up, then automatically we will be delivered out of this material world. So this is the topmost, the benefit I can say by doing a service to the Krishna rather than Maya. And finally, if you see if the entire chapter, I don't know, somehow Prabhupada is always, he is ended with Sankirtana, glorifying the Sankirtana Yajna. right? Because that is the topmost in Kali Yuga. What else we can do as a devotional service? We can do in the Kali Yuga and the Sankirtana. But this bhajana kriya, what we have been asked to do, the bhajana kriya, it has to be in a pure transcendental state. It will come automatically if you start practicing. If it will come automatically, right? So to tell it, so to understand this purport, this part of purport, I just want to quote Chaitanya Charitamrita, or in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also it is written very nicely. Rupa Goswami has taken up this one from Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's saying, Hataga Sri Krishna Namadi Na Bhaved Gragayam Indriya Sevan Mukhe Jivadu Swayam Yeva Spurati Adaga. So my dear, he's saying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, it is not possible to understand the Krishna's holy name, form, qualities, pastimes with our material senses. When we can understand it, when you engage your tongue, that is the only mode. If you engage your tongue, automatically, swayam eva, automatically Krishna will reveal to you my quality, pastimes, form, and everything. Otherwise it's not possible at all. How we can engage the tongue? Just by doing kirtan, just by taking the holy name of the Lord, and then taking his prasadam. That's all. Correct. Fine. Now the question comes. Yes, Prabhuji, I'm doing chanting. I'm doing 16 tones for so many years, but nothing is happening to me. Why? What is it? If you try to understand, this is a little bit understanding of me in from the Harinam Chintamani, they say there are many doors. See, the Nama is very pure. It will do its job. What is the job? Anartha Nivritti, to purify your heart. It will do. It is doing also. I'm not saying it is not doing, right? But to the Nama, if you allow the Nama to enter into the heart, then only it can do, no? Otherwise, it will not do its job. But there are many doors. So first door is the outside door. If you see, it's a body fatigue. Many times we have fatigue to take the chanting, and other environmental doors are there. Environmental sense objects are there, the chanting, and then the body senses. Eyes will see something, then the mind, and then again comes the mind. Okay, and then only it has to go to the heart. But again, after going to the heart also, we need the Krishna's mercy, the Nama Prabhu's mercy. But if you try to escape the different doors, and automatically the Nama will do his job. So this is the doors. This is a different one. But another point to understand is this: there are stages, right? So to get the Suddha Nama, to get for us to do the job, it has to go to the different stages are there. So we need to understand what stage we are, whether we are a Nama Prada or Nama Basa, or Suddha Nama where we are doing, right? But Nama Prada is happening now. Okay, so how to come out of this Nama Prada? Just some thought process of how to come out of this Nama Prada. In Harinam Chintamani, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has mentioned that the root cause of this pramada means is inattention. Okay, the inattention. From this inattention, all the anarthas come. For example, if you do the attentive chanting, what will happen? As I told, all the doors, it will go open, and then it will go inside the heart, it will touch the purification. Why it is not going inside? The inattention. You're not able to attentively chant and hear it. So this is the root cause. And then, so this inattention, pramada, is the root of all the anarthas. So what are the three major inattentions what we're having during the chanting is, again, he has nicely explained that is, one is the indifference or no attention. Like we don't have faith. Faith will be there sometime, some days, sometime, but not the full faith. And the laziness doing the chanting and the distraction. These are the three major root causes of this pramada, of this inattention. Okay, fine. This is quite possible. We are conditioned souls. We are not elevated souls. So again, we need to take the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, who has given the holy name. So what are the three positive prerequisites to perfect one's chanting, which has mentioned the slokas are as follows. He says, you can come out of this, inertia, laziness, and then inattentiveness by having a sincerity, enthusiasm, and incessantly do the chanting. By this, we can come out of this pramada, inattention. Very simple it is we can understand this. Okay, so simple formula is just chant one mantra at a time and hear one mantra at a time. So this is the one simple example. If we follow it very sincerely, then definitely we can come out of this nama prada, right? What the mantra you are chanting, the same mantra only you should hear. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One chant at a time, one mantra at a time. If you start focusing on our own chanting and then listening back to the chant, automatically we will come out of this anartha nivritti and we can progress steadily towards going back to our goal, which we have aimed for, this Goloka Vrindavana, this life. Fine. Just to summarize, so these are the three topics which we have tried to understand today in this verse. Is the age prerequisite for preaching and practicing Krishna consciousness? No, definitely no. But what is required? Age is not a prerequisite, but what is required is Krishna's mercy and your spiritual master's mercy and the guidance from all the Siksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus. This is what is needed to practice your devotional service and preach your devotional services. And whether to serve Maya or Krishna, which is easy, serving Krishna is only easy. And benefits, there are unlimited benefits. And what is happening when you started doing sadhana bhakti? I have just told you, Kleshagni, your sins are getting out of it. You have been prevented not to do sins. That is the most thing which is happening over there, right? And then automatically you have prevented the sins of not happening, and then you have been bestowed with auspicious by performing, by asking you to perform the 64 angas of bhakti. Both the things are happening. Don'ts and do's both are happening. This is what our philosophy, our acharyas been impregnated us on all these things which to do us. Right. So thank you very much. So I wish to sincerely give my gratitude to all these wonderful Vaishnavas, Acharyas, because to understand this verse, I'm able to get an association with all by listening to their lectures on this verse. Our Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Navrivola Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, Romapada Swami Maharaj, and Bhakti Gaurva Narayana Swami Maharaj, Ishwaka Prabhu, and Ramabhadra Priyadas Prabhuji. I'm not sure whether I've done justice by hearing to these people, but I got an association by just hearing about this lecture. And then my final gratitude to my 3 A's who are 24/7. They are giving me siksha, my Antaranga Achuda Namrata, for their giving a siksha for me to undergo this service also. So kindly forgive me if any offenses I've done in reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam and verses are in my understanding. Please forgive me on this. My Dandat Pranams to all of you. Hare Krishna. Hare Om Tat Sat.
Hare Hare, Mohana Rupa Prabhu, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation today. I mean, you so nicely analyzed the verse and the various parts of Srila Prabhupada's purport. You clarified that age is not a barrier. Serving Lord Krishna is definitely easier compared to serving Maya, and you also highlighted the benefits of devotional service. So in the course of explaining all these aspects, you first made us realize that Srimad Bhagavatam emphatically tells us this material body is temporary through the pastimes of Chitraketu, Yamaraj, etc. You also highlighted how spiritual quotient is what is most important compared to knowledge or intelligence or emotions. I wish all the employers consider this and give devotees the job rather than non-devotees. And then through many explanations, you made us realize that it's impossible for us to please our senses or our desires or the people around us. On the other hand, it's so easy and simple to please Lord Krishna because he's easily pleased, and also because our relationship with him is real and natural. All other relationships which are based on the bodily platform are artificial, and therefore it is difficult to please. But our relationship with Krishna is real, and therefore it's easy to please him. Thank you for highlighting this point, Prabhu. And then, so what should we do with our life? We should become attached to Krishna and do everything else as a matter of duty, which is an important sutra for us. And you also highlighted that we should evaluate where we are or at which stage we are on the path of our spiritual life, so that we can keep our focus on being progressive, isn't it? And you mentioned that anartha nivritti is like the hurdle or the threshold that one has to cross before we can experience anything beyond that. You also, in terms of benefits of devotional service, nicely explained the 6 characteristics of Uttama Bhakti, beginning with Kleshagni Shubhada. So all of us must give ourselves the opportunity to experience all this. Even if we experience Kleshagni, that itself will be a big thing, because all of us are being fried in the burning oil of Maya. And from Ajamila's pastime, you nicely brought out the unlimited, compassionate nature of the Lord and how he always gives us many chances. Only Krishna can do that. And you concluded with the glories of the holy name. You explained nicely that there are so many doors before we can reach up to Krishna's mercy when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So you highlighted that the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is all powerful, but there is a quality to the chanting of the chanter. So that we must definitely focus on. And you spoke about the 3 stages which we need to pass through, and that inattention is the root cause of all the other aparadas, etc. And yeah, this is a very practical application point, because every day we are chanting, but for us to benefit from what we are doing, because we are investing 2 hours, so to get the benefit out of it, we must at least we must make sure that we chant with attention, isn't it? Otherwise it's not chanting at all. It's something other than chanting. So to be progressive in our spiritual life, attentive chanting is a must, and that will help us to overcome our paradas, etc. And you also gave us the cure from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Chaitanya Charitamrita's instruction, that sincerity, enthusiasm, and to continue with the practice of chanting will help us to overcome all these anarthas. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, for such a structured presentation of the topics Prabhupada and Prahlad Maharaj has given for all of us. Thank you for your service. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for this opportunity. Granthal Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
God Prema.